Put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real wealth is being real myself. Might I haven't seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real wealth is being real myself. Might I haven't seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money, money, money. All you got is not wrong with being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, not having it is. Don't just know if we hate things that God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's going on. You don't like money so much, why you get up and go to work? Everybody doesn't get up all the things that you think you have to do. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class.
Good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, where I do my absolute best to bring practical, proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. It is truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to be able to come to you live and direct from the Black Wealth Movement studios here in St. Louis, Missouri, guys. The Black Wealth Movement is taking on a tremendous amount of steam, picking up steam, and folks are joining from all over the country, seeing the real problem with revolution is our fact that we don't have any economic base. And what the Black Wealth Movement does is it helps you develop your economic base as an individual, and then we can come together and pool those resources as a collective economic base to move our agendas forward. So if you want to know how to study and learn capitalism, how to start your own business in the financial education space, we got you. If you want to then know how to use that business to minimize taxes so you don't pay Uncle Sam so much, we got you. If you then want to learn how to take the revenue from that business and from minimizing your taxes and get rid of your debt, we got you. If you don't have a 750 or better credit score and you want to learn how to get there, you want to learn how to maintain credit, you want to learn how to use credit to build wealth, we got you. And then we're doing all of those 4 steps so we can finally put ourselves in position to start accumulating income producing assets. If that's you, we got you, right? We can get you started for just $10, and then it's $35 per month to maintain your membership. The collective consciousness alone, the people that you will be involved with, our individual talents that we're pooling, that's worth $35 a month in and of itself. But then you add to that, you have your business, you have tools, resources, and a game plan to build wealth. It doesn't get any better than that. So if that's you, text the keyword phrase Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887, or jump in my inbox, jump in my DM if you're on watching this on Periscope, or just leave a comment if you're checking us out on YouTube. Speaking of which, do me a huge favor, go ahead and invite your followers and share this out to Twitter if you're watching this on Periscope. If you're checking this out on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. And then copy the link to today's show and share it on your favorite social media timeline, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you like to share things. And you guys on Facebook know I love you. Go ahead and do the same thing. Share, give me the likes and the thumbs and the hearts and all that kind of stuff. That means something to Facebook. That lets Facebook know that we have a quality program so that you can we can compete with the ratchetness that's out there. The reason World Star and all that junk stays in the top of your news feed is because it gets a lot of engagement. People are liking, commenting, and sharing that stuff like crazy. We've got to do the same thing with the good stuff. We've got to like, share, and comment and push this stuff out like crazy too, so we can compete with that foolishness that is out there. So for those of you who are new to the show, I'd like to let you know exactly who this show is for. This show is for risers and grinders only, man. You got to be ready to get up, get out, and get something here in America. And if that's you, this is your show, right? If you are about building a legacy for your family, yes, you're talking about doing the right sacrifices so that your future generations don't have to, yeah, this is your show, right? On the other hand, who is the show not for? If you are that eternal bump on the log that eternal pessimist who's got a problem for every solution, this is not your show. If you're the kind of person that has that weird relationship with money, where you think money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word, this ain't your show, man. What you got to realize, if you don't put money in its proper perspective and you got that kind of relationship with money, you will tend to repel money away from you instead of attracting it to you. And everybody who's on this show is attracting wealth to them, prosperity, peace, creativity, all of that stuff, man. Wealth is about an abundance of resources. Money is just a single resource. When we're talking building wealth, we're talking about building abundance of resources. So if you're not about that life, you can exit stage left, and I promise we won't miss you. And like I tell you each and every morning, if you've never seen a future billionaire before, yes, that's billion with a B, 2027, it's going down. I want you to take a screenshot, jeez, and watch me work, because it's going down, man. It's going down. So today we're on part 2 of our study of King Solomon. We're going through this book, The Richest, Secret of the Richest Man Who Ever Lived. This is a Mike Murdoch book. And he just kind of breaks down some of the attributes of King Solomon in 31 parts. We're on part 2. We're on number 11 through 20, and then we'll finish up with part 3 tomorrow. Good little read. So again, it's Secrets of the Richest Man Who Ever Lived, 31 master secrets from the life of King Solomon. So if you missed yesterday's show, go ahead and you can find it on my timeline yesterday. And we did the first 10 principles, but today we're going to go through 11 through 20, right? So number 11, right? We're talking about principles and the secrets of one of the richest and most wise men who ever lived. Number 11 is King Solomon kept a detailed schedule. He kept a detailed schedule. Now, this is literally something that I need tons and tons of help with, right? I, for the most part, do more by 9 a.m. than most people do all day, right? And I've never served in the Army, right? Peace out to all my veterans and active duty folks, right? I literally do most before 9 a.m. than most people do all day. But I could be more effective and more efficient if I really studied time management. I know for a fact I could. If I really got a hold of my time management, I'm serious. I know that I could really do even more, and that's scary. That's scary for somebody who grinds as much as me, somebody who is as productive as me. It's scary to think about the fact that I could get even more efficient. I can be even better if I got my time management under control. So if that's you, let's hold each other accountable to being better with our time management, because everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, but not everybody is equally as productive. Not everybody is equally as successful. And the reason is because some people choose to do other things with their time, right? So if your aim is to be great at anything, you're going to have to manage your time extremely well. And you have to be serious with time management. And I've got to get better. I know that. So number 11, King Solomon kept a detailed schedule, right? Number 11. Number 12, this is also a good one, right? And I know I need some help here. Number 12, King Solomon negotiated everything. He negotiated everything, right? King Solomon negotiated everything. How many of you guys negotiate everything? Or when somebody just tell you this is what it is, you don't challenge them on price, you don't challenge them on benefits, you don't challenge them on features or nothing. You just, and that's me. If somebody tells me this is what it is, I just say, okay, right? But King Solomon negotiated everything, guys. Even in retail stores and things of that nature, do you realize that a lot of times just by asking, man, is this the best price? Just by asking is can you throw something in with this to sweeten this deal? Sometimes you can even say it jokingly, and an employee say, oh, well, I'll give you my employee discount if you go ahead and make the purchase, right? Negotiate everything. Everything is negotiable. You have to understand that first. And then you got to be willing to ask at all times for a better deal, a better price, more features, something added, throw something else in. There's nothing wrong with any of that. When you're exchanging time, when you're exchanging money, whether you, even if you're bartering, you're exchanging service for a service. There's nothing wrong with negotiating every aspect of the deal. So number 12 is negotiate everything. Chances are you can always get a sweeter deal just by simply asking. And then what if you can't? You ain't lost nothing. You just ask a question, right? But if you're going to negotiate everything, be prepared to follow up when you get a certain answer, because sometimes when the price start going down, you get them on the rope, so to speak, and you can get a little bit more for just by continue to ask, haggle, and negotiate. Don't forget the S in MSRP. Don't forget the S, right? That is correct. So the S in MSRP is suggested. That is the manufacturer's suggested retail price. It's not the manufacturer's mandatory retail price. It is the suggested retail price. So always negotiate everything, man. There's nothing wrong with that at all, right? Number 13. King Solomon didn't rush to judgment. He always listened to both sides of the story. He always listened to both sides of the story. How many of you guys can have somebody come to you and tell you something about somebody and you just rush to judge, right? You base your judgment on somebody based on one side of the story, right? And a lot of times it's because if you're telling me something about somebody I don't like, it is real easy for me to want to buy into that narrative, whether it's true or not. If I already don't agree with somebody and then somebody comes to tell me something else about that person, it's easy to rush to judgment and say, yep, yep, I agree. That's how he is. That's how she is. And I've never heard the other side of that story, right? So King Solomon never rushed to judgment, always listen to both sides of the story. And I think we can learn a lot from that because sometimes listening to both sides of the story says more about those who are telling both sides than it does about the situation in and of itself. Sometimes listening to both sides of the story actually says more about the people telling both sides of the story than the entire situation, right? Because you can start to discern from certain people. It's like, hey, this is actually a part of this person's character. They're quick to come and tell something about somebody else when they have all these character flaws themselves. They're quick to try to get you to rush to decision to bring somebody else down because they're always looking for a higher seat in the hierarchy. They're always looking to be uplifted, and the only way they can get themselves uplifted is by tearing others down. You've got to be very, 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 very careful about that. Say, be quick to discern the action and slow to judge the actors. Be quick to discern the action and slow to judge the actors. That's good stuff, Robert. That is good stuff from a man at Planting Future Gains Financial Education. Yeah, so you have to be careful about that and recognize that if that is part of somebody's character, if somebody has a habit of repeating negative stories about other people, you might want to be careful about that person. If they have a habit of exaggerating and blowing out of proportion and sensationalizing the negative about other people, you might want to be careful around that type of person, right? Not saying that we all don't gossip, not saying that we all don't pass information along from one to another. But if that is your habit and the way you present the information every single time is in a negative light, as in to tear that person down, that's a problem. That's a problem, right? Appreciate the blue hearts, Kelly Williams. Appreciate that. If that is if that's how you operate, that's a problem. And I will be honest, I cannot have those kinds of people around me. Said discernment is the key. These people don't even know and refuse to recognize their own negative traits. Yeah, that is a problem. So you know, if that's where you are with who you are, then you're not the type of person that I like to be around, right? Bonus, if the actions are consistent, then they judge themselves right. Right. So if those kinds of people, if that is their MO, then you got to recognize that and just say, you know what, I might not need you in my camp at all if this is just how you operate on a regular basis. Not to say that we all can't get emotional, and not to say that we all can't get in our feelings and do some of this stuff from time to time. But if that is your MO, yeah, we can't deal. We can't deal. You'll end up being the next negative story if you're not careful. Absolutely right, Shelton J. Right. So that's number 13. You always listen to both sides of the story. Number 14. King Solomon insisted on detailed contracts. Right. Detailed contracts. In other words, he was serious about his business. See, King Solomon didn't do business. He was serious about his business. He insisted on detailed contracts. He was serious about his business. It wasn't no, oh, I'm going to do this for you, King, and I'm going to help you in this area. Put that in writing and spell out all the details, not just some of the details, all the details, right? You've got to be serious about your business. Come on, we're talking about one of the wealthiest and one of the wisest men who ever lived. You have to be serious about your business. When you are entering into business relationships, understand that they are slightly different than, well, they shouldn't be different, but we kind of create and make them different than any other relationship. But I think all relationships should be, you should be spelling out the details when you enter into a relationship with anybody for any reason. You should be spelling out the details. I'm just trying to make sure my computer, my laptop is plugged in. I'll make sure that we don't lose power here. Right? So you have to be serious about your business when you're entering into relationships. A contract is another way of saying a relationship. When I enter into a relationship, be particular about the details of the relationship. Be particular. And another one of the first 10 secrets, it said that he was particular about explaining the expectations of the people he dealt with, right? So when you're entering into a business relationship, entering into a friendship, entering into an intimate relationship with someone, you should be particular about the details. Spell out the details, spell out the expectations so that there is never any confusion, right? Sometimes men and women, when they enter into relationships, there's mixed messages, right? Because we don't enter into a contract with all the details spelled out. We kind of leave things vague. And sometimes we leave them vague intentionally just to see what the other person will read into it. Nope, that's not a good practice. Should be nothing vague. Be very specific. Leave nothing to chance. Very specific. Hey, here is the expectations of this relationship. Here is what I'm trying to get out of it. Here are my intentions clearly laid out. And this is where we're starting. And okay, if something else changes, then we will come back and we will amend the contract, right? You will come back if something changes, right? Man and woman enter into a business relationship. Business relationship starts to develop into a platonic friendship. Platonic friendship starts to develop into an intimate relationship. Well, guess what? When it goes from business relationship to platonic friendship, you need to amend that contract. You need to amend that contract because a business relationship and a platonic friendship may have different benefits and features. So you need to amend that contract and spell that out. Here's what I think platonic friendship is. Here is the lines we don't cross as platonic friends. And the other party needs to do the same, and you agree. Peace. We're platonic friends in a contractual relationship because we spelled out the expectations for both. Platonic friendship elevates to an intimate relationship. It's time to amend that contract, right? Here is what an intimate relationship means to me. Here are the benefits. Here are the do's and don'ts. Here's the lines that we will cross. Here's the lines that we won't cross. The other party does the same. Now you've entered into an intimate relationship with clear expectations of what it is and what it is not. Right? Give you an example. A lot of women think marriage and intimate relationship is the same. Men think intimate relationship, this is cool for now, but may not necessarily be thinking marriage. That needs to be in the contract, y'all. When you amend the contract and go to that level, that should be in the contract, whether or not marriage is even on the table. Right? But sometimes we're afraid of the answer that we might get. And as a result, we do not ask the questions that will lead to the answer that we don't want. Girl, I know he ain't the type to get married, so I'm not going to ask him if that's in our future or if we're that serious. No, ask him. And let him tell you out of his own mouth that that ain't in the cards. So that is part of the contract. So you can decide on whether or not you want to continue in this agreement. Powerful people ask powerful questions. Powerful questions steer focus, and you get what you focus on. Powerful people ask powerful questions. Powerful questions steer focus, and you get what you focus on, right? That's from my man Trevor Ott, Black CEO. So don't be afraid to ask powerful questions when you're entering into contract, or in other words, entering into relationship with other people. Spell everything out so that there is no confusion, right? So that there is no confusion. Number 15, King Solomon only hired the best of the best. He only hired the best of the best, right? We talked a little bit on Monday's show about identifying your 10. Identifying your 10. If I am a 10 in financial education and I want to hire someone to help me build a website, I don't hire a 5, because guess what? I'm a 5 at building websites myself. I just build it myself. But if I want a website and I want it to look a certain way, I hire somebody who is a 10 at building websites. As a financial educator, if I'm a 10 as a financial educator and I want to hire someone to do my public relations, and a PR person, which I am in the market, if you know any, let me know, right? If I want to hire a PR person, I don't hire somebody who is a 4 in PR. I hire somebody who's a 10 in PR, because I only need you for one thing. I'm not concerned about what else you're good at. I need you to be great at the one thing that I'm hiring you for, right? So always hire the best of the best, right? And then just look how this flows. Hire the best of the best, spell out all the details in the contract, right? And negotiate everything, right? This is good stuff for studying the King Solomon, right? Hire the best of the best, spell out all the details in the contract, and negotiate everything. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So make a habit of when you're entering into someone to help you and you're paying your hard-earned money or you're exchanging some services or whatever the contractual terms are, make sure that you are getting the best that you can possibly afford so you don't have to pay again and again to have the same job done. I know people who've literally paid for websites to be built 3, 4, 5 times because they're trying to get it done on the cheap. And they're hiring somebody who's a 2 at building websites because they have a good relationship with them in another area. No, I'm not going to hire you to do a website for me. You might be a 10 like me in financial education like Robert. So Robert, I don't hire you to do my website because we got a good relationship in the financial education space. No, I need to know that Robert's a 10 in building websites. Then I can hire him for that. If you happen to be a 10 in that and a 10 in financial education, then I evaluate whether I want your services. But you will have to be looking for people who are a 10 at the things that you have to be a 10 at the things that literally you want people to hire you for, right? So again, we're talking about the secrets of the richest man who ever lived, the study of King Solomon, according to Mike Murdoch. I got all of these 11 through 20 from this book right here, so you can check this out. It is on Amazon. If you go to books.financialhealthmentor.com, the book will be on my website a little bit later today, so I'll add it to my books page, books.financialhealthmentor.com, if you just want to grab a copy of that book. So that's number 15, only hire the best of the best. Number 16, my mother says this all the time, and she got it from my grandmother, who got it from my great-grandmother. And she says, haste makes waste. Haste makes waste, right? King Solomon, number 16 is King Solomon was never in a hurry. Never in a hurry, right? Haste makes waste, right? When you are so eager and anxious to do something, you do it hastily instead of really taking your time, plotting and planning it out so that you can get the best results possible, right? Haste makes waste. And I never understood that for a long time because I didn't understand what the word haste means. I didn't know that, right? Right. But when I understood, okay, haste is to be hastened or to be quick or to be anxious, right? And in that anxiety, you're trying to get something done and you're just in a hurry to do it. So you want to be decisive, but never in a hurry, right? Some people just can't make a freaking decision about anything, right? Those people usually never amount to anything, and they will always need direction in their life. But you want to be able to make decisions. Say, do you take these steps? That's why I'm studying, brother, to incorporate these into my life, right? You want to be able and be decisive in able to make a decision, but then you have to make sure that you are doing your due diligence and not just rushing to take action for the sake of taking action, right? And I get a little gung-ho myself sometimes. I will admit that I am a little gung-ho, but that's just how I operate. When I have a thought to do something, I decide to do it, and because of that gung-ho attitude, I sometimes find myself redoing things over and over and over. And that's why the phrase that my mom says all the time, haste makes waste. So I get in a hurry, I try to hurry up and do something, and yes, it's partly done, but then I have to go back and redo it. So I just wasted time, effort, energy, material when I did it wrong the first time. And if I would have just taken my time, and I'm good for this, if I had just taken my time and read the instructions, if I had just taken my time and read the instructions, right? But I get something, I pull it out the box, man, and I just say, hey, this looks like it goes there. And I just start putting stuff together. And guess what? have to tear it all down, go back and read the instructions, and then rebuild it the right way. So those are some things that you have to just think about, right? You think about making sure that you're never too anxious. And if you have that anxiety, you're in a hurry about doing something, think about, okay, yes, you can make the decision to get it done, but your approach and how you attack it and laying out your plan, take your time. Because what do they say the 5 P's are, the 6 P's? Proper planning prevents poor performance. Proper planning prevents poor performance. So yes, make the decision to get something done and then properly plan so you can execute so that you don't waste time, energy, or materials and effort. Number 17. 17. He sowed the seed of time into his dreams. He sowed the seed of time into his dreams. Right? This is a good one, man. We might hang out here for a while. This is a good one. Number 17, he sowed the seed of time into his dreams. How many of you guys know people that the only thing they sow into their dreams is hot air? How many of you know people who the only thing they sow into their dreams is hot air? Meaning all they do is talk about their dreams and they never take any action. They never they never do anything towards making those dreams manifest. Appreciate the pink hearts. Appreciate the pink hearts on Periscope. I know tons and tons of people, man, that got some wonderful ideas, got some great plans. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, yeah, that could be really successful. That could be a win for you. And then next year, we have the same conversation. The year after that, we have the same conversation. The year after that, we have the same conversation. I'm like, dude, ma'am, lady, brother, sister, why aren't you putting any effort and action towards making this dream a reality? Why aren't you putting forth the necessary action to make this dream a reality? I know tons and tons of people like that. So you have to sow the seed of time, energy, and effort into your dreams. Once the vision is given to you, right? Once the vision is given to you, if you heard, I saw my on my fan page, Trevor Ott was talking about this at a women's conference for the women Black CEOs, and he talked extensively about vision, right? He says visions don't come from you, they come to you. Visions don't come from you, they come to you. But when they come to you, you have to be willing to take action steps to execute those visions. You have to execute on those visions, right? So you have to sow the seed of time. Yes, the vision comes to you, you study it out, you plan it out, you see what it can be, and then you start taking the necessary actions of putting your plan together in place. You put that plan together in place, you break the plan up into bite-sized chunks, a daily action plan, and you take steps towards manifesting that plan each and every day. Your dream don't come to manifestation if you but only talk about it. You've got to execute. You've got to execute. So King Solomon is good at sowing the seed of time into his dreams. He just takes time to make his dreams manifest. Take action every day, right? And what happens is, if you can if your dream is big enough and you really allow it to get in your spirit, then your entire lifestyle you create around that dream. So almost every step that you take day to day is building onto that dream, right? How would you like to have your dream or vision so entrenched in you that literally every single step you take is laying another brick to the building of that dream? That's where I am right now. Every step that I take is adding another brick, another layer, another wall, another relationship, another something towards the manifestation of my ultimate vision, my ultimate dream. But if you only talk about your dream and never take action, then stop daydreaming, because that's all you're doing. Stop fantasizing, because that's all you're doing. Stop wishing. That's all you're doing. Because what's the difference between a dream, a fantasy, a wish, a daydream? What's the difference? No action and no date. The difference between a dream, fantasy, and a wish or a vision is no action and no date. All your dreams and goals should have a date on them. Because when you put a date on them, then you can work backwards from that date to create a daily action plan that will get you to land on that dream by that date. All dreams and goals have an action plan, not a verbal communication plan. An action plan. What am I going to do every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year to get this dream to manifest by 2027? It's a major difference between a wish, a dream, and a hope, a fantasy. Is a date on it and the action that you put behind it. Got to execute. King Solomon sowed the seed of time into his dream. How much time are you putting into your dream on a regular and consistent basis? How much time are you putting into your dream on a regular and consistent basis to make it manifest? Right? And some of you guys have big dreams and you say, man, but I work this job. And when I get off work, I'm so freaking tired. And I would say touche. But then I would say, get your butt up earlier and put the work in before you go to your job. No excuses. I get some of you work jobs that are so freaking demanding, so stressful, physically, mentally, and emotionally, that you are literally drained by the time you get home. You have dinner with your family, you pay with the kids, and there's nothing left in the tank to do anything towards your dreams and goals. I know people like that, and I'm not judging that. But what I advise you to do is maybe you need to start getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Maybe you need to start getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and working 2-3 hours on your dream before you go to work. No excuses. No excuses. Right? So number 18, King Solomon confronted his adversaries. Now, this is funny for me to talk about, right? You're talking to one of the most non-confrontational people on this planet, man. I don't want no confrontation with nobody. I'm just an easygoing dude. Stay in your lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane, and we got no conflict, right? This dude is, but you cannot be unwilling to confront your adversaries. You can go sometimes for a while not paying attention to the haters, brushing off those who are, are running your name through the mud, but you can't live, you can't go forever. Like at some point, you have to be willing to confront your adversaries, right? You have to be willing to confront your adversaries and say, look, no more, man. We can't, if If we can't get along, then at least we got to be able to go along. You got to keep your name out my mouth. I keep your name out my mouth. You got to be willing to confront your adversaries, right? Because if you don't, you guys know how bullying goes, right? Until you turn around and face the bullies, he will always be chasing you. She will always be chasing you unless you turn around and face and confront them. Now, you might turn around and face and confront them and they might knock the snot out of you. But you got to get to a place where you're no longer running. You're going to have to knock the snot out of me every day because I'm not running. I'm going to confront you every single day. Right? You have to get to a place where you become comfortable at confronting your adversaries. You know, I'm the guy who lets everything slide, right? Well, at some point, I've got to get to a place where you can't let everything slide for the sake of being politically correct, for the sake of setting an example for your children. Sometimes the example for your children need to be them seeing you stand up for yourself, right? So you got to be willing to confront your adversaries, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like they say, there's a saying that they say in the hood: if you don't start none, it won't be none. But if you start some, just know you got to bring a little to get a little. You got to bring a little to get a little, right? My wife said I can't cuss on the show, so y'all know what I'm saying. You got to bring some A double dollar signs to get some A double dollar signs. And you got to be willing to stand up and confront your adversaries to protect the things that you are building, to protect your dream, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Number 19, King Solomon was good at keeping his dream alive with enthusiasm. He's good at keeping his dream alive with enthusiasm. What does that really mean? Let me help you understand that. If I have a dream, I'm putting together a dream team of financial educators, right? And we're racing to $1 billion net worth, right? But when things aren't going in the direction where it looks like we're going to accomplish our dreams and goals, and I start dragging my feet for a moment, what do you think the rest of the team is going to do? They're going to start dragging their feet. Then what do you think the people who are on their teams who are following them are going to do? They're going to start dragging their feet. What if I start showing a lack of doubt myself, right? If I don't stay enthusiastic about the dream and the vision and the mission and continue to spell that out to the team and to those who I'm working with, if I don't stay fired up about what I have going on in my life to get me to where I want to be, those who have bought into the vision, those who have bought into the dream will fade away. And all dreams have a lifespan. All dreams have a lifespan. And if you want to, the fastest way to get your dream on life support is to remove the enthusiasm, passion, and fire from a dream. I guarantee you that dream instantly goes on life support. Enthusiasm is the lifeblood of your vision and dream. Because if the vision was given to you, if the vision came to you, there should be nobody on the planet more excited than you. And when you're communicating that dream and that vision, then your enthusiasm is what gets others to buy in. Your enthusiasm will get others to buy in. That's it. If there's no drive, the dream won't stay alive. So enthusiasm is the lifeblood of a dream. You remove the enthusiasm, then the dream dies. That's how you can really tell if that vision was really given to a person or if they're just taking part of helping the vision manifest. If the vision was truly and genuinely given to a person, they can't talk about that dream without enthusiasm. So you start thinking about some of the things that you are doing. If you can't muster any enthusiasm about it, chances are that's probably not the vision that was given to you. You might be trying to fulfill somebody else's vision, and that might be why it's a little hard for you to stay motivated to keep doing the things that you need to do to make it happen. Nobody has to wake me up in the morning and get me fired up about building economic empowerment in the Black community. That is just my stuff, man. That is the vision that has come to me to help Black Americans get their money right. That is just my vision. I don't need to get fired up. I roll out of bed at sometimes like this morning. I rolled out of bed at 6:30, 6:35, 6:40 or something like that. Got in, did my little push-ups and kind of woke myself up. But at 7:05, I'm fired up to talk to you guys about building wealth in the Black wealth movement. Don't let your dream die by losing the enthusiasm, even if you're struggling to make the vision manifest. Stay enthusiastic about it. And number 20, this is the last one for the day, and then we'll finish up the 11, 21 through 31 tomorrow. Number 20, King Solomon refused to tolerate disloyalty. He refused to tolerate disloyalty. You remember what his mission was, right? He's building a house unto the Lord. If he tolerates disloyalty, how does he ever get that thing built if he has to continue to start over with a new crew every other week? You can't tolerate disloyalty. Either you're in or you're out. Either you're with the movement or you're not. That doesn't mean we can't be friends if you're not with the movement, but I can only work with those who are loyal to the cause. I can only work with those who are loyal to the cause, because it takes loyalty to see a thing all the way through to the end. It takes loyalty to see a thing all the way through to the end. As the one the vision came to, I have to stay enthusiastic all the way through to the end, and those who are buying in has to remain loyal all the way through to the end if we're ever going to pull this thing off. We're ever going to pull this thing off, right? So loyalty is extremely, extremely, extremely important. So you got to make sure that you don't tolerate any disloyalty, right? Not to say that people can't walk away from you, but if they do, let them walk, right? Don't beg them to stay if they're not loyal to you, to the vision, to the mission at hand. If they walk away, let them walk. Does that mean you have to sever ties and sever your relationship? No, that could be meaning that they just have been moved, or their own vision has come to them and their vision is not in alignment with your vision. And that's cool, but I can't have you going back and forth where you're disloyal to me and at the same time you're loyal to others. Now that's going to create a conflict. So King Solomon refused to tolerate disloyalty. So let me recap the 11 through 20 real quick. Number 11 was he kept a detailed schedule. Time management is important, guys. All life is time. I'm gonna say it again, and I hope you guys get this. All life is time. What you do with that time determines the quality of your life. But life in itself is just time. How long are you going to be here on this planet? That's all life is. What you do with that time dictates your quality of life, right? So keep a detailed schedule. Number 12, negotiate everything. Number 13, listen to both sides before making a decision. Don't rush to judge. Number 14, insist on detailed contracts, meaning spell out everything in your relationships, business, friendships, intimate relationships, or whatever. Be on the same page. And the minute you're ready to turn the page to a new page, or you're ready to end the chapter and start a new chapter, then amend the contract. Never be afraid to amend the contract, even if your attempt to amend the contract might mean the contract might have to end. Never be afraid to amend the contract. Number 15, only hire the best of the best. Right? If you need a job done, then get that job done by somebody who's a 10 at doing that specific task, not necessarily somebody who's the cheapest. The best of the best. Number 16, haste make waste, so never be in a hurry. Never be anxious about anything, because that's how you can find yourself in trouble. That's how you can find yourself wasting a lot of time, energy, effort, and materials. So never be in a hurry. You want to be decisive, but not necessarily in a hurry about anything, because that makes waste. Number 17, you have to sow the seed of time into your dream. You cannot just talk about your vision. Talk about your dreams, and never be doing one single thing towards making those dreams manifest. Right? Critically important. Number 18, got to be willing to confront your adversaries, man. Your adversaries can literally destroy you if you never confront them. Right? Now, there's a way, a time, and a place for everything, even when it comes to confronting your adversaries. But at some point, you will have to confront them. Otherwise, they will just continue to gnaw at you and antagonize you, and that can be a distraction. Number 19, you have to keep your dream alive with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the lifeblood of a dream. If you're not enthusiastic about your dream and vision, nobody else will buy in, and every vision requires others who the vision was not given to buy into the vision to help pull it off. But if you're not enthusiastic about it, nobody's buying in, and you'll never be able to accomplish the mission. Number 20 is never tolerate disloyalty. Either there is no in between. Either you're with me or you're not. And that don't mean you have to be with me, building with me every single day, but you can be with me, and I can see you once a month and we build, and you can go do your own thing, and I can see you in a month later and we can build. Either you're with me though, or you're against me. That doesn't mean we have to communicate and hang out and every day, but I need to know that you're with me, you're with me. If you're not with me, that's cool. That don't mean we have to be enemies, but I just know that you're not with me. There's nothing wrong with you not being with me and us not being enemies at the same time. I have a lot of friends who are not with me. We're still friends, they're just not with me. And they can say the same thing about me. Hey, Cortez is my dog, he's just not with me. Because our lives are on separate tracks. But that is still my friend, right? So with that, I'm going to wrap up today's show. Tomorrow we'll wrap up the last in this series. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, if you haven't checked out the Black Wealth Movement yet, go to www.blackwealthmovement2017.com, or you can text the keyword phrase to Black Wealth Movement at 314-874-6887 to learn more about what it is that we do and how we do it and how we can help you transform your personal financial life. And I believe if we have enough people in the Black community getting on a solid financial ground, then we can collectively come together and help get the community as a whole on a solid financial ground. Always remember, we need economic empowerment and community development, but we can't develop the community without capital, and we can't empower the people in the community unless we educate them financially. So that's the goal of the Black Wealth Movement. You can join us today for just $10, then $35 per month. get more information, text me, inbox me, or get in touch with me. I will share with you what it is that we do and how we do it. And you can join again today for just $10. So I'm your main man, Ace Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community. Until I talk to you guys tomorrow, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, y'all.